Because my grandparents didn't know anything except the King James Bible. And they're Christians because they read the King James Bible. So the point is, be careful when you criticize. Now there are some problems, and one of the problems is King James came along and they came to this word baptizo, and we can just sort of speculate on what occurred, but I can just about guarantee you that King James said, we're not going to translate that word. We're going to transliterate it. And why would he do that? Because he wanted babies to be sprinkled. Well, if you translated baptizo, did you know it would say in the Bible where Jesus said, he who believes and is immersed shall be saved. Acts 2:38, when they said, what shall we do? You have Peter saying, repent and be immersed, every one of you. But if you look up the word baptize in Webster's dictionary, or probably even on Wikipedia, you know what you'll find? It'll say to immerse, to sprinkle, or to pour. And that's very unfortunate, because that's not correct. It should be immersed.
Isn't there other Greek words for sprinkling and pouring?
Yes, sir. There are other Greek words. The word for sprinkle is rontizo. It has the same ending, but a different stem. I believe it's rontizo. I'd have to double check that, but I think that's correct. But baptizo is very clear. It means to immerse. And so Brother Alexander Campbell came along, and in what was called the Living Oracles, when he translated the entire Bible. And you think about this. Now, you've translated tonight the word apostolos. You've translated that. Actually, you've transliterated it. But you've translated the word adelphos tonight. One word. Think about translating the entire Bible. This is my Greek Bible right here. He translated the whole thing from Greek to English by himself. And when he came to the word baptizo, guess what he did? He put immerse. He did it correctly. And you know what people said about that? You can't trust that Bible. That's that Church of Christ Bible. And then Brother Hugo McCord came along and he translated it correctly as well. But they would be accused of being prejudiced, but the truth is they were being honest with the text. That's what they were doing. Yes, sir. Sam, you had a question?
Yes, sir. How do they decide which words to transliterate and which words to
I don't think we know that. I don't think we can know the answer to that.
Well, if they got a problem with it, then they kind of...
Yeah, that's if they had a problem with baptizo, why not just give it a corresponding English letter?
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Is angelos and apostolos synonyms in Greek, or just after they get translated?
After they get translated.
What's the differentiation in Greek? Do you know? Both mean messenger, is my point.
Well, literally, apostolos, the more literal is 1 cent, you know, 1 cent out. And we've taken that to mean messenger. There's really no way.
But angelos was never used in any other way other than a spiritual being. Right?
I believe it's used as a messenger. It could have been an earthly messenger too.
Okay.
I believe. For instance, Revelation chapter 2 and 3, letters to the 7 churches, and to the right to the angelos at Sardis. Who is that? They have an angel there in the church. Well, most people believe that's referring to a preacher or the messenger or an evangelist.
Okay.
So, and again, I don't know that there's a way you can tell other than through context. And as we study more and more, we're going to say more and more about context, because there are a lot of things that you can't know other than context. All right, where are we? Okay, we got to apostolos, okay. Next is diakonos. Everyone say diakonos. What is that word? Literally minister or servant or deacon. Again, deacon sounds like diakonos.
Minister, deacon, or
Servant. Sometimes.
Is there another Greek word for slave?
The next word on your list here is the word doulos. Doulos. Everybody say doulos. The word for doulos is slave or servant. What's your question, Brother Scott? All right. The next word is the word thanatos. Everybody say thanatos.
you skip the line.
Oh, okay. All right, I skipped that on purpose. We're going to come back to it. Thanatos. Well, there's a reason it doesn't look like the rest of them, right? Everybody, go wrong. Okay, repeat with me. Thanatos. Thanatos is death. Death. Did you know we have an English word, thanatology? Thanatology? Anybody know what that would be? Study of death. Y'all are geniuses. Study of death. All right. Yes, sir. I believe that probably comes from that. All right. Next, we have theos. Theos. Everybody say theos. And that is the word for God. God. We get our English word, theology. What would theology be? The study of God. So whenever you hear some preacher talk about Paul's theology, it's the study about God. All right. Next is well, go down to cosmos. Cosmos. We'll come back to these others in a moment. Everybody say cosmos. Cosmos. Cosmos is, you know the word for that? World. World or universe. You know any words that sound like that? Cosmos. Like cosmic? Cosmetology? I don't think that. It may be the study of some people's world, but. All right. Next is logos. What is logos? Word or message. By the way, that's the root from which we get our word logic or logical. The word logos, for instance, in John 1:1, in the beginning was the Logos, and the Logos was with God, and the Logos was God. John 1:14 says, the Logos came and dwelt among men, and we beheld the glory of the only begotten of God, full of grace and truth. Logos. All right, next is the word nomos. Everybody say nomos. Nomos is what? Law. 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 Law.
L-A-W.
Law. I can't say it like that. All right. Next is oikos. Everybody say oikos. And oikos is house. House. Or household.
House or what?
House or household. And the next is huios. Huios. And huios is son. S-O-N. Son.